Shweta Kapoor met me the other day and said she was very disappointed. She had put in quite a bit of work for the training program, but in the end, when it came to the head of departments and the effectiveness test, everything came to naught. Many of the efforts that she put in came to zilch, came to zero, came to naught. A question many of you all should be asking is why do many of our HR and specifically training efforts not give desirable results? A simpler question would be, why does HR and OB initiatives land up failing? When I spoke to Shweta on the possible reasons why her initiatives may not have been fruitful, we came down to 12 possible pitfalls. Pitfall number 1, competing priorities. She said out of the 30 nominated employees, only 21 came. 5 of the production department didn't land. Reason? It was probably the end of the month. There were targets that the department had to complete, and the production department could not send the desired number of participants. Competing priorities is an issue with many organizations. Not all departments value training because not many of the training departments can actually display the effectiveness, the return on investment, and that is a major hurdle in training initiatives. We were doing a program in MRF, and the first thing the production department, Mr. Subramaniam, said, what are the results we will get, and more importantly, when? Point number 2. We noticed that there was a definite lack of interest in the participants. We landed up speaking to the participants. They said, we have been attending training programs once a week. There have been so many training programs conducted by many of the trainers who keep on repeating the same topics. The lack of interest is something that was noticeable when we did a program once for a pharma company over here. The participants said that many of them were not even informed of what the program was, what was expected out of them, and why, importantly, they were nominated for the program. A lot of the work before the program is conducted is extremely important. Being able to propel and rev up the interest of the participant is extremely important. It's like a school student who's excited and wants to go to school. He would land up learning a lot more. That's point number 2, lack of interest. Point number 3, poor budget. When you have these poor budget issues, the first thing, when the economy is down, the budget's constraints come, the axe first falls on training budgets. She, I remember, had mentioned that she wanted to call a trainer from outside the state. The approval came only for an internal trainer. Internal trainers have their benefits because they know the organization well, but they also create the feeling of lack of variety. When all these trainers whom she had brought in landed up being from the organization itself, that zing and zest that you would see in the participants was lost. Budgets create an issue. Point number 4, bad timing. Some of the programs that she held were in the afternoon. May not have been the best time to have the program. Timing of the program plays a key role. Timing in terms of the timing of the program, timing in terms of when during the month the program is actually being planned. Couple of these issues make an extremely important issue. We were doing a program for Glenmark, and then the HR department said, you may be free at the end of the month, but for us the end of the month we wouldn't get nominations. You would have to make time in the first week of the month. The HR department was categorical and clear. Put their foot down and didn't accept the trainer's wishes, because the priority of the organization and the participants was the most important. Point number 5, unsatisfactory ambience. Ambience makes a distinct difference. In a hall which doesn't have the requisite ambience, things can fall flat. Remember Herzberg's theory, the hygiene factors are extremely important. Good venue, good arrangements. At times for some programs, maybe after 3 or 4 programs held inside the own premises, you could venture out somewhere for an outside venue. A bit of variety was called for, and hybrid system of training where you have an inbound session coupled with a few sessions outdoors could enhance the effectiveness and give a better appearance. Point number 6, and one of the most important, is improper evaluation. Unplanned programs are mainly spotted with improper evaluation. If you can't show the results of your training to all the other departments, how would they be convinced that nominees who are really requiring the training should be sent? In many programs, you will find spareable employees who may not really be required at work get nominated, and not the right people. Many of these spareable employees get repeated program after program, that we noticed once in a manufacturing industry here. This is the real good guys we can't afford to nominate because work schedules are on. Unless the departments are shown the benefits of the program. So here were the first 6 of the areas which led to the training slip. There are the other 6 and a few more. I was talking to Durgesh Angale, a good friend of mine, the HR head of Unichem, and he felt a lot of the work before the training and after the training is as important as the work during the training. Learning from one's mistakes, benchmarking with the best in the industry in terms of training practices can help a training manager ensure better training. Many of us would land up failing, but learning from many of our mistakes would make us better. Remember Peter Drucker's words, only what is measured improves. Similarly, training, trying to measure even the effectiveness of an attitude program and how the attitude of employees change. You may feel is very difficult, but that in today's world would be important.